What's up, guys? Welcome to another episode.
One more.
In Los Angeles.
I feel like we're trapped in this space of on camera more of the day than we're off camera.
Yesterday we had like 19 cameers in our faces.
That was weird.
Not good.
That was weird.
Yeah.
You took a picture and you posted to social media.
Yeah.
You're like, I don't enjoy this.
Yeah, this is rough.
It is weird.
Yeah. It's like four dudes talking. Like I wish we had like a hot chick. Like
I'm
we got
glad,
Dean.
I'm
We
glad
got
we
Dean.
I could fix that.
Yeah. Albert can always.
My wife's probably watching. We're screwed now. I'm not coming home.
Today it was funny. We'll get into who our special guest is in just a second, but we were at Google today in Playa Vista in LA, and we were talking. In order to get approved to come to the Google campus, not only do you have to like submit some paperwork and that type of thing, but they also watch your content. They want to make sure that whoever they're welcoming in isn't a Trojan horse.
They didn't watch mine. I'll tell you that. I snuck in. Got through.
Yeah, they're like, hey, we've got 3 of you today, but you brought 5. I was like, no, it's fine. It's fine to start shaking hands and giving people hugs. It's like, dude, you'll figure it out.
Yeah.
But they watched our content. And so we got into Google HQ after being yelled at for not using sidewalks in the parking lot.
Yeah.
But she said something like, saw that new podcast clip about communism. That's an interesting one.
Mm.
And I said to her, is communism one of those words that you can't say on YouTube?
Communism.
And she pulls out her cell phone and she opens up like a Google app or something. She goes, I think you're okay.
I think we're going to get banned.
And I said to her,
I don't think Will's going to be
No,
alive
not good.
tomorrow.
This is
I'm
not
telling
good.
all the secrets. Relax here.
Dude, yeah, I'm giving it all
Be
away.
careful.
Dude, I was just texting back Robert Croak, who I love, right?
Siroja, we're sorry.
Huge fan of his content. And he's like, what are you doing at YouTube? And I was like, nothing. Trying to not get shadow banned. Because it's a real thing, right? Albert, obviously, who's our guest today, Albert Preciado from Driven. He's wild.
He says whatever he wants to say.
Do you remember?
Do whatever he wants to do. And he doesn't care about shit. You don't care about shadow bans? You don't think about it?
I don't give a fuck.
Okay, here we go. That's it.
Dude,
Maybe that's the way to live.
Well,
Oh, here we go.
He had a guest on the podcast, on the Driven podcast, or the Albert Preciado podcast.
yeah.
And the guy's sitting over there. You're, of course, sitting here. Sill's in the middle. You know where I'm going with this one. He goes, and I flipped. I think the phone flipped out of my hand. I was like, what?
Well, I mean, it's because it's, can I say it or are you going to get banned?
I think we'll probably get banned. This is a business entrepreneurial podcast. That stuff does not belong on here. And we already saw the clip.
Yeah.
I think everyone saw the clip.
I think the whole
it went
world
viral.
Yeah,
saw the clip.
but it's not, it's nothing bad.
Oh God, he's going to start talking about medicine
It's
now.
pretty bad.
when like
It's a medical thing.
Like if you,
Stop it. Dean
don't
goes
do it.
through it.
Don't do it.
like
Please don't do it.
if you are,
This is the Howard Stern show.
but-
now.
Yeah, apparently, right?
Yeah, this is
but we'll skip that. I don't want to
Yeah,
get
yeah.
you guys in trouble. But check it out. Like what I said is like you got to be controversial. But like the last 14 days,
damn.
I have 15,352 people that followed me.
15,000.
Yeah, in the last
month.
14 days, 15,352 people that followed me. But I also have 2,486 people that unfollowed me.
Nice.
Oh,
So
that's
some
real.
of those people maybe got maybe they felt bad or they didn't like my comment or they didn't like something that I said. So I had 2,486 unfollows and 15,352 follows in the last 14 days. The net is what I'm looking for. The net is 12,866 in 14 days.
And that's a net positive.
That's a net positive.
Yeah.
So like I'll take that trade-off because the 2,486 people that don't like me are not going to buy from me anyways.
Mm-hmm.
But I have all these people that I added. So you tell me if this is a win or a loss.
We know what's going to happen. They unfollow you.
Still watching.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. Absolutely. And then they come back. I love people's accounts where it's like, if you unfollow this person,
Yeah.
they'll have to approve you to be able to come back.
Look at the growths in engagement.
Accounts reach 2.2 million, 98% increase. Accounts engaged 137K, 101% increase. Total followers, a 6.1% increase.
Just from that one video.
That's insane.
Or 2 videos, right?
Well, that video leads for more eyeballs, and then all the other ones that are good, they start getting more views, and then people are just causing my account to just the engagement goes up the roof.
That's insane. Albert has a unique influencer account, and I know we've talked about this before, where I've talked about it with you, but we've talked about it as well, where you have influencers who don't have a business. Their business is saying stuff on the internet. It's not a fucking business. Can we all agree? That's not a fucking business. You can say whatever you want, but if you have if you have coaching to sell, God help you once the market turns. May God have mercy on your soul, right? I'm selling $25,000 coaching. It's group coaching. It's one-on-one coaching. I go live and I mention your name. Dude, I don't know what the fuck these people are selling. And it reminds me a lot of the 2008 meltdown in the real estate market, the mortgage market, where you had all these real estate agents that had to pivot and they were selling a multi-level marketing scheme. Mona V. Do you remember that?
Mona V.
Monia.
That was acai or something?
It was an acai drink. It was a super berry from Brazil.
In a wine bottle.
In a wine bottle. And we lived in this beautiful high rise, and it was filled with wealthy people. And you know me, I'm Jewish to the maximum. I lived on the first floor. I wasn't trying to spend any of that money.
It was post 9/11. We wanted to be safe.
Yeah, we wanted to be the first out, like the CEO of Chase, right? He's like, I'm not going to be on the 97th floor. I'm going to be on the first floor. That plane hits my building, I'm out of there. But no, the truth be told, it was the cheapest condo that I could buy in the building. But the truth was, going back to this acai thing, I pull up my car in the underground parking lot. And my neighbor, who was pulling at the same time, goes, listen, I used to be doing real estate, but now it's about to happen. This is my moment. And he pops open his trunk. I don't know what kind of bullshit car he had. It was like a 6 Series BMW or something. It was like douchebag central. That's a douchebag car, 6 Series BMW. I don't even know if they still.
My favorite resident of that building was Dr. Rich.
Oh, yes. God bless him. Plastic surgeon. But in any event, he pulls out Mona V, which is an acai drink, super berry, Brazilian cure-all nonsense. And he says, I can't sell it to you. It costs $40, but I can't sell you a bottle. I was like, well, I don't want to buy a bottle. I'll just take a sip, right? He goes, what I can do is I can put you in my downline. And I went, I'm sorry, I'm Jewish. What the fuck does that mean? And he goes, well, see, the way it works is I sell you this license, and then you can then sell the license to other people and do the same thing. And the best part is it's completely illegal. I say illegal or legal?
I think you said illegal.
Yeah, well, it was illegal, I'm pretty sure. In any event, how did we get on this track? Why are we talking about
2008?
Well, because you compared this right now with 2008, and then also 2008, a lot of people in mortgage, they got out and they started selling also multi-level marketing, insurances where they get paid when they get people under them and things like that.
Yes, influencers with no company. And I think we're talking about engagement. What makes Albert's content so real is not only him saying this horribly inappropriate stuff, as we could all agree, Albert included.
I like it.
Dean loves it. He's a huge fan.
But it's something natural
for Latinos. Absolutely.
For you, yeah.
You're a Casanova.
Like if you do it for enough time, sometimes things happen.
Oh yeah. No, I get it.
We're back on.
We're back on the shadow ban list.
Yeah, we're back.
But you're a self-proclaimed Casanova, which I understand.
But you're riding around in Ferraris too. It's not like you're just saying
it's the real thing.
It's the real thing. Deal.
And the engagement's real. And this is the point, because he's showing us the data. But I look through the comments and I want to know what's real. Mm-hmm. And you look through Albert's comment, and it's like, his shirt's too tight. His muscles are too big. It's not real. He's taking testosterone. It's TRT. He's not really fasting for 42 hours from Monday till midday Wednesday. It's filled with hate.
That's how you know it's real
That's how you know it's real.
and working.
Yeah.
Why do you think people hate though on people?
Projection, right?
Explain that. What does that mean? What does projection mean? Because I think,
All the negative stuff they see in the mirror,
yeah.
they project onto you because it's easy, right? They're safe. They're hiding in their bedroom. They're under the covers with their laptop watching you live,
Yeah.
right? And they're projecting all their insecurities onto this person they don't know because you say something that makes them feel angry about their own inadequacies, right?
Damn.
But to take that
He
further,
really is
there's
brilliant.
there's a lot of things that are fake online. Like people, it's hard to believe things online unless you meet the real person.
Let's talk about jets for a second.
Yeah.
Because I'm sick of meeting people that talk about private jets.
You guys had a horrible discussion on your last little after hours episode about private jets. I think you said something like you were making fun of net jets or something.
No, who was? I was or
Yeah,
he was?
you were.
I'm not making
Awful.
fun of net jets. Listen, however people want to get around, that's their business. But I happen to know people who are legitimate pilots, right? That fly commercial jets for a living. And once you have a friend who's a pilot, they start to let you in on this well-kept secret about flying. You have a friend, a very close friend,
Alex Henderson,
who's actually an investor in Cardiff,
Yes.
and
He's a real commercial pilot.
real commercial pilot. And
Yeah.
I have a friend also. Shout out to well,
I don't remember the friend's name, but
no, I'm not sure if I should say his name,
Yeah,
but in
don't.
any
Yeah.
event, no, it's
Bob Bobson.
Dick Dixon, Jim Jimson. But he's a commercial airline pilot for FedEx, and he flies large airplanes, cargo airplanes from here to Asia. And, he talks about the systems and protocols that are in place for these long flights to Asia, where it's like, okay, I'm going to pilot it for the first X many hours. There's a first officer that's sitting next to me. Then there's another guy, right, for the last leg. Right. And there's systems and procedures, just like any organization, to professionalize any company. You need to have this system of regulatory, bodies that enforce rules. And then there needs to be rules and systems and procedures that you then follow, not only to stay compliant, but also to make sure that everything goes right for your own, for your own company, right? It's not just abiding by the law. But I think the point is that there's always workarounds. Like anything else in life, Dean's using my fucking iPhone 15 as a coaster. Whatever, dude.
Shout out Tim Cook.
Shout out to Tim Jobs, Steve Apple, whatever that guy's name is. You hop on a jet, and this is my point about flying private. I don't even know why we're talking about this, but I'm going to bring it
fake
up.
gurus, people with jets.
Dude, I'll pick you up on my jet. Really? I don't want to be on your jet. I don't want to be if I'm flying out of Vegas at 2 a.m. in the morning, you think I want to hire some schmuck that lives in Vegas who's up at 2 a.m. in the morning to fly me at 30,000 feet back home to San Diego? Listen, anything can go wrong. Everything goes wrong in the air, right? Mm-hmm. We hit turbulence. I want my mom. I want God. I'm thinking about all the things that I did wrong to my children that night, right? I know this has nothing to do with business or entrepreneurs, but I don't want to be on a flight that seats 10 people that I'm spending $10,000 an hour to charter with some schmuck who's coked out of his mind at 2 a.m. in the morning.
Oh my God.
Yeah, I said it.
How do you feel about like how he gets his jets and he uses it to market for marketing purposes?
I think I've seen that movie before. It's called Lord of War, where he spray paints the side of the airplane.
Movie.
Yeah.
And it tricks the girl into thinking he's rich because it's his name on the side of the jet. And then by the time you get in the air, all the paint is peeled off of the airplane, right? But it's too late. The girl's already fallen for you. No one has airplanes, right? I'm a wealthy person, right? I don't mind saying that on television. I'm a wealthy person. I don't have a private jet. Why? Because I can't, in my head, fathom spending obscene amount of money to not only buy the plane, but to keep it up. That's why I bought an electric car. I don't want to spend.
Cardone said he bought $60 million jet to not pay taxes.
I don't count his money. I didn't know who Grant Cardone was until 6 months ago, by the way.
He should try buying a vineyard. I think that would help him.
Yeah.
with his
If you want to
taxes.
lose money, Cardiff loans a lot of money to a lot of different businesses.
Yeah.
None lose money as much as vineyards. And we like idiots. You want to finance barrels? No problem. Where are the barrels from? The Burgundy or something? They're from like,
France.
yeah, well, what part of France is what I was saying. But in any event.
I learned a lot from Grant. He said, grow an army and 10x your efforts. I did that, and then I just needed and then after that, I hired Patrick Bet-David, and then we eventually became friends. But I wanted to learn the operations, the systems, the processes of somebody that ran like a big company. So he had an insurance company. He had like tens of thousands of agents. So it was pretty similar to like mortgage kind of. It's a highly regulated industry. And so I wanted to learn from Patrick because I already knew that I needed to build an army, scale, and 10x my efforts. But I needed operations. So that's when Patrick came in, and I was blocked and I didn't speak to Grant anymore.
Can we dig a
texting.
little bit into that? So we talk a lot about this, and we've done this before or when you guys did the last Stern Talk episode with you. We talked about this experience with Patrick and the Ferrari, and there's this whole amazing story that goes with it. And you talked about how he helped with operations. But was that just kind of inspirational for you when you talk about it? Or was there really some concrete thing that he gave you, some information on here's how you do things and here's a manual?
Oh, yeah. So just to end so that people know the full story with Grant, I wanted to speak on stage at his 10X conference.
Yeah.
I went to his first conference in Cancun.
You don't know this story.
Where
Yeah,
he
this is
had
a good story.
He had 35 people, and I was one of the 35 people in his first small workshop he did in Cancun. So I loved the dude when I heard him.
What
on
year is
YouTube.
that?
This is 2014.
Oh.
So 2013 actually. So I really loved the dude on YouTube, and I used to like watching his YouTube's videos and podcasts and things like that he was doing. And so I flew to Cancun, and I'm making $300,000 a year. I have a deep sea Rolex, and this is 2013, and I feel like, damn, this is when I was starting the mortgage guy. So I fly in there, and I was there. Then next year, he has his bigger conference, 2,000 people, and I asked him, hey Grant, I invested all this money in you. I want to speak on stage. I want to be a speaker. I don't know why, but I wanted to be on stage because I wanted to motivate people.
Yeah.
And he said, okay, we'll make $1 million, and then I'll put it on stage.
I remember this story.
Yeah.
And so then I
Then
come
make $1
back
billion.
next. I come
Keeps
next
going.
year, and he's like, oh, you got to make millions. And I'm like, okay, come back next year, make 2 million. And then he told me something that changed my life. He said, it doesn't matter how much money you make, you don't have an audience. You're not going to help sell tickets. So that was the biggest lesson I learned from Grant Cardone. And I said, okay, well, you know what? I'm going to go and start my own event. So I came back home motivated. I told Sil, we're going to start our own event. And that's when Driven was born. And then what Grant probably doesn't know is I said, you know what? I'm going to pay him to speak at my event. And I'm going to pay him his fee so that I can get all his following and start growing mine. Because I'm sure that all the Latino Americans, millennials, they're going to connect more with me because I'm Latino. And because I'm also half his age, I'm younger. So they're going to relate more with me. Hey, you know what? He's a millennial like me and he's Latino. If he could do it, I can do it. And I relate more to Albert than Grant. So I converted a lot of those followers. And then 8 years later, now we're having Driven 8. But it started because of that. I was furious because I couldn't speak on his stage. So I created my own stage.
So he spoke at your event?
The first one.
Oh, shit.
You know what it reminds me of? We've never talked about this before, but I love this story. Do you know the story of Ferrari and Lamborghini?
I watched the movie.
Okay. So I've never seen the movie. Do they cover this in the movie?
Like the competition between them.
Or actually, it's Ford
bit.
and Ferrari. I don't think they really talk about Lamborghini and Ferrari.
So this is an interesting story. So, and somebody will have to fact check. Lev, will you fact check me on this? So both Italians living in Italy, Lamborghini has not factory equipment, but farming equipment.
Tractors.
And he decides that he wants to buy a Ferrari. And so he buys it, and it's a piece of shit, as some Ferraris can be, right? Especially the 80s Ferraris.
Back then. I
mean, this is, in the 60s, I think. But
Yeah.
They weren't great cars. They were great looking cars. And then it breaks. And so Lamborghini comes to Ferrari, and Lev, you can fact check me on this, and says like, dude, I think it was a transmission issue or something like that. He's like, fix it. He's like, I'm not fixing your car. What do I look like? He's like, all right, well, fuck you. I'll build my own. And so he builds Lamborghini. So what do we know Lamborghini as today? We know Lamborghini as an exotic, and I'm totally ruining it with you as an influencer for Ferrari, which I think you should be, in a magazine
Brand representative.
a brand ambassador for Ferrari, and I'm ruining it all right now.
Well, Ferrari called me mad because I said something about them.
Oh, geez, sounds like
I mean, you could bleep it out if you want, but I had a video that I posted, and I said that I use my Ferrari like a prostitute.
Okay.
There we go. Boom.
I like it.
I like it.
And the
Is
video
that a
went
word
viral
on the list?
Because because I used the Ferrari. I used to park it out like in front and get tickets just to get attention to market mortgages and real estate.
We talked about it's like Bijan.
So I did that video and I said those words. It went viral, and I kept posting it because it was doing good. My engagement was good. So then Ferrari reached out to me, and they asked me if I could please stop posting videos with those two words associated, because they don't want to be associated with the P word. So
prostitute. Sorry.
Yeah.
Lev, you'll bleep that in post. Sorry.
So I used to like at the events, I had the cars parked on the stage.
Yeah.
And I would jump and jump on top of the car and like kick it and just be like, hey, use your Ferrari. I use my Ferrari like a prostitute.
Oh.
And then so Ferrari called me and they said, please don't say that.
The best part is that Sil never stops him when he does this kind of stuff.
Yeah, it's good.
Well, she tries, but I don't listen.
Yeah.
She's not a marketing person.
That's great.
She's pretty good.
Yeah,
She's pretty good, actually. But in any event, we're telling this story, right? And it's like Grant doesn't let him on. This is an old story. Albert's told me the story before, but it bears, I don't think we ever did on a Stern Talk. Maybe he just did on his own, but I knew this story about Grant saying, well, like, all right, well, you can't come on stage this time. Make $1 million. Make $1 million. All right, make a couple $1 million. Great. I made a couple $1 million the next year. No, you don't have any followers. You're not going to sell tickets. Fuck you. Do it myself. Driven. Boom. Right. And it really does. It resonates specifically with me. Right. When hardship and challenge and adversity happens to me, there's a freak out moment for sure where I'm sitting in the corner of the shower, right, in a fetal position, the rain shower just coming down on my head, and I'm saying why, right? Like, remember today at Google, I was like, do you want to know why I'm sad? Why me? Why does this happen to me? But generally speaking, I come to my senses pretty quick, and I'm like, it's the vengeance.
Yeah.
And I shouldn't say that, because if there's younger people listening, they're like, oh no, that's silly. I don't want to act like that. I don't want to be vengeful. That's like, it's a deadly sin, right? That's a deadly sin. But the truth is, sometimes vengeance, right, is one of the greatest motivators in business. And just like Albert's story with Grant, with Ferrari, or with Lamborghini's story with Ferrari, but then also there's another great story, which I think bears us talking about real quick, which is the story that we read from the book about the business coach for both Apple and Google. Which, do you know this story? No. This is another great vengeance story. 2006, somewhere abouts, they bring back, Lev, you'll have to fact check me on this. They bring back Steve Jobs.
Lev has to do a lot of
fact checking. Dates? I don't remember, right? Like I can, I got, the date that I married my wife inside of my ring. And I still forget
Yeah, that's smart.
my anniversary. And my rabbi taught me that. What he didn't, RIP, what he didn't say is you should get it on the outside of the ring. It's no help on the inside. And so I still miss my anniversary. In any event, vengeance, ultimate motivator, right? Sorry, I shouldn't be saying this, but it's amazing. And with Steve Jobs and Eric Schmidt, the former CEO of Google, they bring back Steve Jobs. He creates the iPhone. He's in the boardroom and he's showing it to all of the members of the board of Apple. Look what we're going to create. Do you remember this? And Apple was in trouble financially, and their lifeline was Google. Google became an investor in Apple and got a seat on their board, maybe got multiple seats. Eric Schmidt sees this iPhone. What do you think he does? Goes right back to Google and says, we're creating an Android phone. And Steve Jobs sends him an email and says, if you do this email is out there in the ether. It's very famous. He's like, I will wage thermonuclear war against Google if you do this. Right? And who won the battle? Sure, Android has phones, but who won the battle? Apple.
I think Apple's Apple's
sleeping.
the richest company right now, right?
Dean's asleep. Can somebody wake him up?
He needs some margarita.
He ate like
I'm
a
ready.
pig at
I'm
lunch.
ready for a margarita.
I saw you with the chips and all the carbs. I don't eat carbs. Let's go somewhere
Trying
for
to
lunch.
out me with the chips?
Dude, Google.
Ugh.
So here's the thing. We'll talk about this in a second. Vengeance is the ultimate motivator. We're at Google today, at Google's headquarters. Well, Southern California anyway. And she takes us to the cafeteria. Google, the food's free.
Yeah.
Food's free. Desserts.
For an hour and a half. It gets taken away.
Yeah, well, listen, they're not stupid.
I was surprised.
Is it like a prison inside?
Like the most beautiful prison you've ever seen.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like Noah's Ark is what it looks like inside.
People that are happy to be there, working there.
Maybe
'Cause they get free food.
We'll be back there in a little bit. You want to come?
Yeah.
Do you want to take a tour?
I'll go. Yeah.
I'll take you.
It's crazy cool.
Yeah, it's very cool. Did you like it?
You think he's allowed in there? You don't think he's on the ban list?
It's that facial recognition
Yeah.
software.
Well, Google banned me. They banned my YouTube.
Yeah. See.
Okay, so you can't come actually.
No, but I have a contact in there.
Okay, we're not.
That sounds like prison.
We're not going there.
There's
We're not going
a
there.
contact
Hey,
inside.
I know the CO there, the correctional officer, and he said it's cool. He can smuggle it in my
They
tukas.
gave me my account back,
Oh,
so I have my account back.
All right.
But I think we were at Google today, going back to Dean eating too many carbs, which is not entrepreneurial rated in entrepreneurial content in the least, but it's content that insults Dean. So I'm all for it.
Sounds good.
Yeah, no.
Please
for all
do.
the 2 people that watch our podcast. Dean is on this diet. Of course, Albert's like licking the tuchus.
Oh,
he's
it's a
still-
lifestyle. It's not a diet. Jesus.
Whatever. Albert's like, oh, Dean's looking real fit. I'm like, yeah, haha, with the haha, like emoticon tap pack or whatever like that. I don't like when people like you more than me. So he's like, yeah,
Okay, William Shatner. Jeez.
Dean looks super
He
fit.
doesn't like Spock.
Bro, that's some old references, bro. But in any event, we're at Google's headquarters, right? And it smells. And they're like, well, we just figured we'd eat here.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh, we should go out, and we asked them to give us a tour because they're like, well, lunch closes at 1:30. And we're like, perfect. So we kept looking at our watch like, oh, what is this room? What does that room do? And it was the Harry Potter room. This is amazing.
That was cool.
That was cool. That actually was cool. But like, we made sure that by the time we got back and finished our tour or our meetings or whatever, that it was after 1:30 so that the cafeteria had closed. It smelled horrible. It smelled like a convalescent home that maybe your
The
grandma.
cafeteria.
Well, you're in this huge, it was the Spruce Goose hangar, right? I mean, it's like the size of 10 Costco's stacked on top of each other, wide as it is, long as it is tall. But you can't fuck with smell, right? Like if real estate guy, if a cat pisses on a wall,
Throwing up.
yeah, right? You're fucked, right? My wife took me to tour a house a couple years back. Big home, right? Big home for me. I mean, it was like 6,000 square feet or something like that. It smelled like cat piss. We're not buying it. Google's headquarters, that smell, that shit don't come out. You can wash it. You can use OxyClean. I couldn't eat. So luckily we get out of there and they take us to this really nice Mexican restaurant. And I tell Dean, I'm like, dude, we're going to have dinner with Albert. Like, chill the fuck out, dude. I'm like, what are you ordering? And he orders a plate for a Caesar, right? Like a barbacoa with the tortillas and the this and the that. And he's they put out the chips first to spike your blood sugar.
Yeah.
Takes to it like, dude. Yeah.
Listen, not everyone is able to suppress their appetite as well as you can.
Yeah.
It's, you know.
So back to vengeance.
Shout
Well,
out.
if Albert can, control his sexual appetite, you should be able to not eat chips.
I'm going to work on that.
Use carrots. Remember the old days?
Yeah. I'm going to work on it.
All right, we'll get
I'm going
there.
to work on it.
But going back to the
What are
story
you
of
gonna
vengeance.
work
Huh?
What are you going to work on?
I'm looking at myself in the mirror. I look great. I'm not going to work on anything. But in any event, getting back to the story of vengeance, because that's really why we're here. We're here to kind of shoot the shit with Albert like we always do, but on tape. And the truth is that like, sometimes I tell Albert like, hey, dude, chill out on the vengeance stuff. Like, he's like, yeah, that's why he didn't let me on. But the truth is, fuck that guy. You were asking me this early, right? You were asking me this earlier where you're like, when was the time where you made enough money where you're like, wow, that's fuck you money,
Yeah.
right? It's not the money that makes me feel good. It's the freedom that makes me feel good, right? It's the knowing that I can say like, that influencer is a charlatan, right? The guy who's saying you have to be 6% body fat and then you have to like join his club and pay his membership and join his mastermind and be in his downline and show up to his events. And bro, I'm good. I'm gonna be fine. I own 9 kookaroos. You knew I was going there. You remember that Diddy?
Get him to the Greek.
Get him to the Greek. What a great movie.
A movie no one has ever watched.
No, it's fine.
With
But
Diddy.
in the movie, Diddy's explaining that the whole world's falling apart. But he's like, I'm gonna be fine. I own 6 restaurants or 9 restaurants, whatever the case may be. I'm good, right? I don't know how long influencers tend to last in the ether. Maybe until their skin starts to crack or and the economy picks up and like people don't need Mona V, Superberry, acai juice. But if you're an influencer, and this kind of like closes a loop on a very long 39-minute tirade, which is that Albert has real followers and those people don't, right? Those people are trying to monetize something that's not real. And then they're frustrated when they look in the mirror and they're like, why isn't success staring back at me, right? It's not the reflection that's the problem, right? It's what you don't do. You don't bring value to the world.
Do you guys have enemies now? I know you probably do. Do you have any enemies?
Time.
Time is your enemy?
I think
plenty
so.
of time.
I find truly, and I think this is I'll say mine and then you go next. I don't really have enemies in business, although when I was at Google today, they were talking about auction insights. So it's like, as you know, right, we have a strong marketing department headed by Uncle Lev. And in the auction insights, when you're doing pay-per-click, display, YouTube, that type of thing, in the auction insights, you can see who your competitors are and you can see who you're competing against for those clicks. And there's like a list of companies and you're like, I'm competing with these guys. It's like embarrassing.
Yeah.
So my thing to them was like, I want to destroy these people, right?
But you don't have a Grant Cardone in your life.
No, I don't. But I always feel like if I'm spending money, it's to buy back wasted time.
Yeah.
That's it. My wife is like, I can go to Costco. I was like, that's a waste of time.
Mm-hmm.
She's like, I can go to Ralph's. I'm like, that's a waste of time.
What do you use, DoorDash?
DoorDash for like food and then
Grocery?
Instacart for Costco. Amazon, because we have an addiction, right? Everything comes via Amazon.
Why do you think people still go and shop and they want to choose like the shiny avocados and all that stuff?
You're looking,
And then you're waiting.
this guy over here loves doing that.
Because then you have a 40-minute line sometimes.
Okay, so he taught me this, which I think is genius. Dean, why do you go to the grocery store? Dean goes, to get away from my family.
Sometimes, like Bill Gates talks about washing the dishes. It's relaxing.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's nice to go wander around the grocery store. Never know what you might see. You might see something exciting, nice shiny object, right? Mm-hmm. Someone, something to look at.
That's why they have Equinox for.
Yeah, it's a good point. Dean belongs to a country club. It's a lot of old men.
The gym we go to.
Don't we us. Don't we us. I don't go to any fucking gym. The fuck am I, Andy Elliott? I just learned about, shout out to Andy Elliott, right? Who probably has never eaten a chocolate chip cookie in his life. Like Andy Elliott, if you're watching, which you're probably not because they're only my mom watches the podcast, but holler at me. We'll take you out to Javier's.
You think Andy Elliott is happy with the way he runs his life? Because he's very strict with he's always intense, high energy, and he believes everybody needs to have a 6-pack or else you're fired.
No, demons.
Well, hopefully it's just a character he plays on TV, right?
Well,
because I would want to I could still have a 6-pack.
Yeah.
Like I still have a 6-pack, but I like to have a margarita. I like to have a cookie.
I like going out with you because you eat like an insane person. We went to Javier's last time and he ordered, I sat next to you. I saw what you ordered.
Yeah.
And it was like, I'll have like filet, but just give me like a few of them and then a bunch of shrimp. And then I don't know if you said lobster too. And I'm like, they brought him like a platter.
A ship.
Yeah, a ship. It was a ship filled with meat. And then
fajitas.
Yeah. Well, a fajita's easy, bro. It's not El Torito, dog. You know what I mean? That's like me going to Ross to fuck with you in Las Vegas and putting up a leather jacket and saying it's Ferragamo. You're like, dude, that's not
I have my brown leather jacket today.
okay.
Nice.
But I also had some margaritas with Dean.
Your best friend. I get it, dude. I'm not cool enough. I get it. Better body.
Be my friend.
He listens more.
I got you.
You'll be my friend. Okay.
For now.
I have 2 ears.
What did you say?
2 ears.
2 ears, one mouth.
Yeah, one mouth.
The 2 ears are for me to grab onto.
Yeah.
Never mind.
So, oh my God.
We'll get it in post, Lev. We'll get it.
So how do you think you think he's he's like angry or
No, he is angry.
No, when I go to the grocery store, I'm not
I
angry.
mean Andy Elliott.
He's messing with you. He's like, no, when I go to the grocery store, I'm very
I
happy.
feel at peace. I'm walking through the aisles and all I can think about is just like, that's a beautiful leek, right?
Yeah.
That's a wonderful looking pear. What an avocado. Let's touch it.
But you're not going to save money.
I don't know how much
but
things cost.
to defend Andy Elliott, because I think that's part of his personal brand. So I think that's how he hypes himself up and gets his following.
Yeah.
Because Patrick Bet-David, he sold a company for $250 million, and Patrick Bet-David doesn't have a 6-pack.
Yeah. Like Andy Elliott's not selling anything for $250 million. Sorry, Andy. You know what I mean? Like you got great clothes and short pants, right? It's very exciting to watch. But there's nothing there.
I think social media is just like television. The people that are participating in it have to understand that everybody's playing a character. And it might be close to real life or it might be a little bit further from real life.
Yeah.
But the audience demands you to be some kind of character.
Yeah.
Without that, there just isn't as much entertainment.
Yeah.
And so we got to cut them some slack, right?
Yeah.
Cut the Andy Elliott some
You're
slack.
such a nice guy.
Tony Robbins and us too sometimes, right? If we're trying to get a message across, people that know you really well might make fun of you or say something negative.
Yeah.
They just don't understand that there's a purpose, right, behind all of this. Mm-hmm. And I think you probably suffer from that too, right? That people are treating you a certain way in the comments. Yeah. You're like, that's a certain percentage me.
Yeah, yeah. Well, you mentioned enemies. And for me,
I didn't mention enemies.
Oh, let's talk about enemies. So
Josh did.
So for me, my enemies are my haters. That's why I'm very passionate, and I always talk about I like to say that word for some reason, and I've been some successful people have told me like, hey, stop mentioning haters.
Yeah, and I've had this talk.
But the thing is that you know what motivates me or what my enemies are, those people that used to make fun of me and still make fun of me, those people that told me that I couldn't do it and still say I couldn't do it, those people that said you're going to go out of business and they're still saying I'm going to go out of business, those people are free motivators.
Okay, let me ask you a question. Stop right there.
Yeah.
I tell you like a fucking hype man, right?
Mm-hmm.
From the day I met you, that driven is larger maybe than even you can see. because I see it.
Yeah.
And we talked about this. I'm not going to go into it again, but it is an empire. It's a real estate, mortgage, title, insurance. I mean, everything. All under this, these portfolio brands, underdriven. And the conventions, right, that you do for Driven are the way to bring these people into the religion.
Yeah.
What could be more fucking motivating than me telling you that? Some idiot on the internet going, his abs aren't real? Who's better, the hype man or the haters? What do you need more in life? Do you need the haters, or do you need a guy like us, or a couple of guys like us going, all right, well, let's get in bed together. Let's figure this out. Let's scale. Let's, I don't do mastermind.
Maybe you could help Albert, right? Like we just did a post yesterday.
Yeah.
And it was me talking about communism. And 60 people said that I'm a fucking idiot. How did I feel about that?
Well, 59 of those guys were, no, I'm just kidding.
So how did that make me feel? Right? Does that make me angry or sad?
No, I think.
What do I think of those people?
I think you want them to comment more.
Yeah, absolutely.
But secretly,
But
Albert
it doesn't
does too.
drive me in a negative way.
I enjoy those people.
Yeah.
He does.
Like you have the trolls, you have the haters, you have the,
Thanks
the
for
people that
stopping
have
by.
nothing better to do. Because remember, the people that love you, they watch your content a little bit. So they'll watch your content, like William jumped on my live and he was there for like 7 minutes.
Oh Jesus!
And then he got off. But the haters, the haters,
7 minutes.
because William loves me and he wants to see my stuff and
Absolutely.
he's like, oh cool. But then he's like, okay, I gotta go. But the haters, they go to sleep thinking about you.
Yeah.
They wake up and they're thinking about you. They're on your live with fake accounts the full hour. They're obsessed with you. Yeah. But the people that love you, they're busy and they're like, hey, bro, I'll see you for 7 minutes. Cool. Okay, I got to go. I'm busy. I'm going to go make money. But the people that are like just obsessed with you, hating you, they're broke and they have all the time in the world. If they used all that time to create, imagine they wouldn't have time to be watching your stuff for hours.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well put. But what motivates you? Help us answer that question.
So when people like you or like my friend Neil Patel, they give me compliments and they tell me, hey, you could, damn, look at this. Let's do this together. That I think it excites me like nothing else, but it also humbles me because when people like are that successful and they give me they kind of edify me.
Yeah.
I have this this thing where I don't want to think too much of it. Like I want to feel broke all the time. I want to feel like I have a long way to go all the time, because it just keeps me humbled and motivated. Like I don't like people that like I don't want to let my ego take over. So I kind of have that shield.
Yeah.
And so that's the way I see it. Like you tell me that, and when people give me compliments, I just kind of I'll take them, but I'm like, yeah, you know what? I'm not gonna let this get to me. Like I got to work harder.
Well, I tell you stuff like stop spending money. Right. I was
Yeah,
chatting.
but you also give me a lot of compliments where you're like, this is it. You got to do this. And you have so much opportunity. You're going to be you're going to create a religion and you're going to be speaking in front of thousands of people all over the country.
Because it's true. Because it's true. But what I also think is true that most people won't tell you is Syl doesn't watch this shit, does she?
Sometimes, but it's all right.
All right. We gotta listen, money is one of those things where it's like, it's arrows in a quiver.
Yeah.
And you have to agree with me on this premise. Money is easier spent than made.
Yeah.
You go to a store, you buy a bunch of Ferragamo stuff, Gucci, Louis Vuitton, whatever, high-end brands. Mm-hmm. Feels really good in the store.
Yeah.
Feels really good.
Yeah.
And then you get out to the store and you take it to your trunk and you pop in the trunk. You're like, dude, I just spent $10,000 on nonsense. Mm-hmm. Right. Mm-hmm. And the truth is, right, if you could take that same money and put it towards something and leverage that and take 10,000, turn into 100,000, now you're more thinking like I am. I tend to do business with people who have similar mindsets to me, which is not that I just want to make money. Everybody wants to make money.
Yeah.
right? And any idiot with an Instagram account can try to purport and pretend and play and be a character of a human being that looks like they've made it, and sell some sort of bullshit course, group coaching, one-on-one coaching, whatever you want it, masterminds, whatever the case may be, and deceive people for a certain amount of time, right? That's not a business, and that is not somebody I want to go into business with. But somebody who understands the value of a dollar and how to scale a dollar to 100 and how to, take that 100 and turn it to 1,000 and take that 1,000 and turn it into 1,000,000. These are people that I do business with.
Yeah.
So I'm just saying, like, I fuck around with Albert. I'm like, let's sell Syl's car while she's while she's asleep, right? Have what's that company that comes and picks up your used car? What's
Carvana?
Cars for
Carvana?
kids.
No. 1-800 Cars for Kids.
Yeah.
No, Carvana is going to show up in Bel Air in the middle of the night. You and I, a little undercover operation, pick up the Rolls, which is a $500,000 car, base model. And
That one's not base.
yeah, I didn't think it was.
Take that money and pay down some debt.
Take that money, pay down some debt. Take that money, do driven in Arizona, do driven in Texas, do driven in Nevada. And the idea is just that, like, listen, I understand the Ferrari or multiple Ferraris. I could even understand a Bugatti because that is your brand. We were talking about hosting driven at like doing a mastermind at like a ranch style thing. You're like, it's not really my brand. I get that.
Yeah.
I get that. But I think, kind of closing the loop on this conversation of like what motivates people. What motivates me is working with other people that have similar mindsets. I love making money with people, right? Dean and I, right? Somebody comes to us, they're like, hey dude, I've got $250,000. What can I do? All right, no problem, right? You can invest it with Cardiff. We'll give you, whatever, 12% return on your money, 24-month lockup, 1% coupon per month, right? Easy, done, great, enjoy it.
What's a 1% coupon?
You just get 1% on your money for 24 months, right?
300%.
But you know what?
Wait, what? Did I do math wrong?
But you know what, William?
Now offering for a limited time, only 8 seats left.
Do you
A
understand what he's saying?
300% return.
Look, bro, we only have 3 sets left. So if you have 3 seats left, so if you're interested in this mastermind.
So to make you happy, like I'm a very conservative guy now.
Yeah.
Like I don't spend money on flashy things.
So let's go to Ross after this.
I'm not gonna go to Ross, but I'm not. I'm
TJ
not
Maxx.
like I don't need anything anymore. Like I have enjoyed my life. I have what I need to. Like I don't need anything else. Like I'm good.
I'm seeing is that an AP?
Yeah.
Yeah. Like.
No, not an
What?
AP. It's a paddock.
Oh, that's a paddock. Excuse me. Sorry, I can't see it. I'm just,
Yeah, but I haven't like I'm not going out shopping anymore. Like I'm good.
Good.
Like I have my SF90. I'm happy with that. Still has their coolant in.
He's making it sound like he owns a
He
Honda
has
Accord.
700 pairs of pants from Salvatore
We have
Ferragamo.
our Tesla. Like we're good.
Okay, good. Now we're thinking.
And so like I'm not going out there. Like right now I'm just focused on the business and I'm just a pretty the most money that I spend right now is just like taking my team out restaurants and having some good champagne, and that's about it. I'm not out there like clubbing and spending 10 grand a night or 5 grand a night or things like that. Like I'm pretty conservative now.
Yeah. Because that's the thing, right? If you want to get into like elite circles, and I think Dean and I kind of struggled with this for a little while, we thought that it was that you had to spend your way into the inner circle. And I think, one of the things that we've realized over the years is that it's not spending your way into the circle. It's aligning with people who live a conservative lifestyle. Yes, they have a very nice house, in LA. And sure, they've got a really nice house in Vail, and maybe they have, a nice condo in Miami or something, right?
Yeah.
But they live conservatively, and they don't spend a lot on restaurants and food, and you align yourself with the hobbies that they participate in. And it could be cycling, and it could be triathlons, and it could be pickleball. You're not going to play pickleball, but Dean's going to try to convince you otherwise. It's a cult, by the way.
Yeah.
But it's hobbies. It's finding out, what do rich people like to do? Because you think like rich people are always like thinking about money. Listen, we're always thinking about opportunity, but we're not Scrooge McDuck, like counting, right, money all day long. We also need a break, right? Everybody needs a break. And so it's like for extreme personalities that are hard in the paint to make money, they generally are hard in the paint with hobbies, right? So it's like competitive golfer, triathlete, competitive in pickleball, whatever the case may be. I got Josh falling asleep over here.
It's 9:00.
He's actually dead.
Yeah.
He's
late.
dead. We're checking his pulse. He's
My
dying.
bedtime is 9.
It's ridiculous.
Yeah, but
I wake up at 3.
But yeah, like the the slacks and the shirts. I've had these shirts.
Yeah, no, it's good. It's good.
We'll go to Ross next.
We'll
time.
go to Ross next time. But listen, we're already at 67 minutes. Are there any other topics that we want to cover? Obviously, Albert's launched Driven Funding, which I think is an amazing product. It's a partnership between our two companies. Albert's leveraging his audience, his followers, who are all small business owners, provide them with easy and affordable access to capital, right? So if you're looking for, if you're looking to hit payroll, hire new employees, do marketing, buy materials or product in bulk, this is the opportunity, right? Quick access to capital, go to Driven Funding, right? Get the type of funding that you need, right? 5,000 to 250, 500,000, something like that. And nurture your business, right? Most business owners are always struggling. Where am I going to find the capital? And I think if we know business owners, it's always a struggle to not only finance your business, but it becomes a greater struggle if you take shortcuts. And shortcuts, in my opinion, are selling equity, giving away power. People always tell you that, right? Like, don't give away your power in an argument. If somebody yells at you, right? Don't yell back at them. You're giving away your power. Well, in business, giving away your power is giving up equity. It's not an argument, right? But you're still giving up power. That is your power. Your business is your power. So hire for your business, use the capital, leverage the capital to bring in talent, right? There's no greater return on investment than bringing in powerful salespeople, than giving up equity to have some numbskull telling you what you can and can't do.
Yeah, and
I think that's the commercial.
And I'll add a quick minute, but you know, when you grow a business, sometimes you wing it when you start and you grow and it's all growth. You have the top line revenue and you're making good gross income. And like a lot of Latinos out there, Latino Americans here that have a small business, maybe you're making 1 million or 2 million, but you're spending more. You know, you're making 2 million, but you're spending 2,200,000 because you're growing, you're hiring, you're making mistakes. Maybe you get a lawsuit here and there, you get fines, and then now you're negative, and you use some credit cards or business loans that you have, and then the banks forget about you at one point, and now it's hard. You can't get any more money to be lent for your business. So Friday comes, you got to cut payroll, you got to buy more equipment. If not, your business stops. But you know you have a promising business where you're going to make money in 30 days, 60 days, 90 days from now. So that's where Cardiff came in, and I'm a client of theirs. They helped me with business funding, and then the business picked up, and then I went from there. But a lot of people don't know about that, and they don't have access to that. So that's why, for me, it's very important to help my community. People like me that, maybe you don't have any mentors or you're making mistakes but you have a promising business. So I'm very, very excited to be able to help like all my people here with business funding for their small businesses.
Yeah. I think it's a huge opportunity. Albert has, and this is this is a perfect way to close it, because this is the way we opened, which is Albert has a real following. So he's not only an influencer on social media, right, that can monetize his following, but he also owns a portfolio of brands realty, mortgage, escrow. These are real multi-million-dollar companies, right? The next logical step is to dip his proverbial toe into the business funding, right, world, because huge swath of his followers are businesses that are looking for, and listen, they could be realtors, but I think as we've seen, they're real estate professionals, they're realty companies, but maybe they're in home improvement, house flipping. Maybe they're contractors, roofers, plumbers, electricians, specialty contractors. They're all looking for quick access to capital. You're not going to go to American Express. You're not going to walk into B of A and ask them for a loan. These things just, that's not how the game is played any longer, right? Just like, to touch upon the Instacart DoorDash thing, people are on their phone. They're on Instagram. They're on Facebook. They're Googling something. They're looking for capital, right? And then we kind of slide in, right? Because Google can listen to your phone or whatever, right? And there it is. There's the ad. Driven funding, quick and affordable access to capital, right? Scale your business today. And it's not just a commercial. It's the truth. So it was a logical step, I think, for Albert, right? To kind of pivot, driven, if you will, from the real estate concentration that he had, right? And just kind of like, okay, it's just natural evolution into providing business funding for his followers. So I think it's an amazing thing.
And you know what I think that gives you a lot of credibility is when you've invested in a lot of mentors, because I invested in mentors. Like I paid Grant a lot of money, Patrick a lot of money, and I could go on and on. I have a lot of people that you've met at the ranch. Yeah. A lot of those people I hired as mentors because I wanted to learn 10% from each. So that helped me not only start my businesses, but grow them. Yeah. And I've thought, you know what? What if I just focus on driven? But then I thought, wait, my credibility versus other coaches is that I have businesses that have been alive and active for 11 plus years as a business owner. I used to work for other real estate and mortgage companies before, like for 10 years. But now as a business owner, being liable for all of them, it's already been 11 years. So I think that gives you more credibility when you've invested in mentors, but also kept the company growing for 11 years, because now you have something to actually coach them on regarding business. So like all those people, I know they need help because I needed help. And I think it's a fabulous opportunity for us to help these small business owners with their business funding. So I'm very excited about that.
You could literally provide funding for them to get your coaching. Right? Not everyone can afford to get Albert's help, right? As a business coach.
And you said when you have money, you pay for time.
Yeah, that's right.
Because rich people, they buy time and poor people waste time.
That's right.
Yeah. And for anyone out there who's listening, who has an audience.
Say it, Josh.
Right. Tell us, Josh, how many people are listening?
Are we YouTube live right now?
We're live everywhere.
Yeah. If you have an audience of at least, tens of thousands, if not hundreds of thousands or millions, this is an amazing opportunity to capitalize on a high margin product that has recurring revenue and has a great audience fit.
Tell them the t-shirt.
Right.
Tell them the t-shirt.
Right. We have a 3-legged stool t-shirt. We have
I love the t-shirt.
High margin, recurring revenue, audience fit. Check, check, check. Right. If those things work for you and you're looking for another product that can make you a lot of money, right? Reach out to us and you can become the next Driven Funding.
Send it there. Josh, you still awake?
Barely.
No. This guy didn't even get a mic stand. All right, dude. Let's go eat.
My arm hurts.
We'll see you guys next
We're going
time.
to eat still?
Yeah, fuck that. I didn't come all the way to LA not to eat.
Fucking Uber.
Taco shop, please.
Ooh, let's go to a taco shop. No? Fuck, Albert's SF90 to a fucking taco shop? Okay, I get it. All right, we'll see you guys next time.
For less.
Yeah, we'll go to Ross too.
Let's go to Ross too. While we're at it.
Oh, that was fun.